In Redis, users can assign an expiration time to a key. After the expiration time elapses, the key gets automatically removed from the DB. Any subsequent attempt to read the key will return null. In today's video, we will see how Redis does this using strategies like active key expiration and passive key expiration. We will also walk through the relevant parts of Redis source code without going into too much detail. Now, let's start the video by discussing the commands that we can use to set an expiration time to a key. The first command is expire. Let's say if we use expire ABC10 where ABC is the key name, then this means that the key ABC will get expired after 10 seconds from now. If we want to expire a key at a particular time, then we have to use expire at and we have to mention the Unix timestamp in seconds. And the key will get expired exactly at this time. Now the working of expire and pexpire are same. Similarly, the working of expire at and pexpire at are same. The only difference is the time granularity. These two use seconds while these two use milliseconds. Now let's see how Redis is storing the expiration metadata. Redis is using KV store keys to store the main key value while it is storing the mapping between keys and timestamp in KV store expires. This KV store is a core Redis data structure that is used to store key value. At first it may seem like that Redis is storing two copies of each key, but that is not the case. Redis is storing a single copy of each key and both the data structures are referring the same instance. But why do we need two data structures? Why can't we store the expiration metadata along with key value? The main reason is that the TTLs are optional. That means that some keys may have TTL while some keys may not. So if Redis had to store the expiration metadata along with key value, in that case for each key it would require additional space to store the information about TTL even when the key does not have TTL. And that would cost us space. Now let's look at the code to see how Redis is storing the expiration metadata. Here in server.h file we have struct redisdb. This struct is storing all the information about Redis database. So here we can see KV store keys and KV store expires. Here keys is storing the actual key value pair while this expires is storing the mapping between keys and timestamp. A Redis key is considered to be logically expired if the TTL has ended. But it may not be removed immediately from Redis. But eventually Redis has to remove the expired keys to reclaim the memory space. Here comes the two strategies that we are going to discuss today. The first one is passive key expiration. Passive expiration happens whenever a key is accessed, be it read or be it write. So let's say a key has TTL set and the TTL has passed. So after this, whenever the key is accessed, then Redis will first check whether the key has TTL set. If yes, then whether it has expired or not. If the key has expired, in that case, Redis will delete the key immediately from both the expiration metadata and the actual KV store and return null to user. This is how Redis is lazily deleting the keys after it gets expired. Now let's see how Redis is actually implementing passive key expiration. Here in the file db.c, Redis has lookup key method, which is the primary method that gets invoked whenever a key is accessed. Inside this method, we is calling expire if needed method and it is passing the db, that is the redisdb struct having two KV stores that we discussed earlier. And let's see what it is doing inside this method. Here Redis is checking if the key has expired or not. If the key has expired, in that case, it will check if there is any special instruction to not remove a key even if it is logically expired. If there is no such instruction, then Redis will finally call delete expired key and propagate method, inside which the key will actually get deleted in master and propagated to the replica nodes. In Redis, read replicas cannot initiate deletion. The master has to initiate it and send del command to the replicas. Now, the main drawback of passive key expiration is that it cannot remove a logically expired key if it is unaccessed. That means that if a key has already expired but we are using only passive expiration, in that case the key will persist in Redis if it is unaccessed. That means memory will be wasted here. So to mitigate this problem, Redis is using another strategy along with passive key expiration, and they are calling it as active key expiration. Active key expiration is like a cron job which runs periodically to clean up expired keys, and it runs every 100 milliseconds. During each cycle, Redis randomly samples few keys. By default, it is 20 keys per cycle. And for every sampled key, it will check the expired time. And if the key has expired, then Redis will remove the key immediately from both the key store. After processing the sample, Redis will calculate the percentage of keys that were found to be expired in the sample. And if the percentage is more than 25%, then Redis will assume that there are many more expired keys in the original dataset, and it will keep on looping and aggressively reclaim the memory. But if it is less than 25, in that case, Redis will stop the loop and save CPU usage. This behavior is based on probabilistic reasoning. If a sample is large enough and random enough, in that case, the sample reflects the original behavior of the actual dataset. That means if the sample is having higher percentage of expired keys, then it strongly indicates that the actual dataset has higher percentage of expired keys. So if the percentage is high, in that case, Redis will keep on looping to improve memory efficiency. And if the percentage is low, then it will stop so that it does not waste CPU cycle without freeing much memory. Redis calls this approach adaptive retry, and it is a key design choice that Redis is using to keep balance between memory cleanliness and CPU efficiency. Let's look how Redis is implementing active key expiration. Most of the logic for active key expiration you will find in expire.c, and here this active expire cycle is getting invoked during the active expiration cycle. Here we will see that this kv store scan method is getting called. And inside this method, Redis is randomly sampling 20 keys, and we are passing this expire scan callback method as the callback, and also we are passing a reference to data. This data is basically keeping track of number of keys sampled and number of keys expired. Initially both of them are set as 0. And in this method, in the expire scan callback method, it is actually incrementing the data sampled and data expired. This data expired is getting incremented on the basis of what this active expire cycle try expire method is returning. So let's understand what this method is returning. Here this now is the current time. So at the beginning of the method, Redis is checking if the key has expired or not. So this is the current time and this is the expired time of the key. So if the key has not expired, then it is returning 0. Otherwise, if the key has expired, in that case Redis is calling delete expired key and propagate method, inside which it is actually deleting the key from master and propagating the deletion to the replica nodes. And after that it is returning 1. So this means that if the method is returning 0, in that case data expired will not increment, and if it is returning 1, in that case data expired will be incremented. Now let's go back to the method from where it was getting called. Here after the sample is processed, then we are calculating the total expired and total sampled. That is the number of keys expired in total and number of keys sampled in total. Then here we are setting the value of this variable repeat depending on the condition. On a condition. What is the condition? So here we are basically checking the percentage of expired keys in the sampled key. So this is the ratio that we are calculating between data expired and data sampled, and if we are checking if the percentage is more than 25%, this is a configurable value. This is a configurable value here. Then depending on the value that we are setting for repeat, we are actually deciding whether to continue the loop or not. So far we have discussed active key expiration and passive key expiration. From Redis 7.4, it is supporting HFE, which stands for hash field expiration. Now you can set expiration time for individual field within a Redis hash to have their own expiration time. For people who are not aware of it, Redis hash is a Redis data structure inside which you can have a key value pair in the value of the key value. That means that you will have a key and inside the value we will have a mapping between field and value. Let's say the key is my hash, then in the value section of it you will have mapping between, let's say, name, ABC, age, 10, etc. And now Redis is allowing users to set expiration for a particular field, let's say for this name ABC. So after the expiration time elapsed, this field will get expired without affecting any other field inside the Redis hash. In order to implement HFE, Redis is using something called eBuckets. eBuckets is a new Redis data structure that is optimized for HFE, and it is implemented as either linked list or as a radix tree depending on the number of keys. But HFE and how it is implemented using eBuckets is out of scope for this video, but we do have plans to cover this in detail in an upcoming video. So stay tuned and subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss it. That's all for today. If you have liked this video, then please like and share this video. Please subscribe to our channel for more such content. Don't forget to press the bell icon. If you have any queries, comment or any feedback, then please leave it in the comment section. Thank you very much for your time.